Welcome to AG's Ace. There is a lot of controversy over Rahul Gandhi's meeting with a gentleman called Jeremy Corbyn, who has been part of the Labour Party for many years, and he is seen as a controversial character. But I want to take you into some of the deeper layers of Corbyn, what he stands for, what he has said in the past, and why is he controversial, and was it strange on the part of Rahul Gandhi and Sam Pitroda, his friend, to have arranged the meeting in the first place. So first of all, the question arises is, who is Jeremy Corbyn? So he's an experienced Labour MP, like I said. He has been branded as anti-India, pro-Pakistani, anti-Semite, and he used to lead the Labour Party in Britain for a while, and under him, they fought two elections and they lost both. Now, Corbyn, according to my information about him, right from the beginning, when he entered the Labour Party, he said a few things and he stood for certain people who were within quotes shadowy. You can call them extremist, you can use any other adjective. But I felt that it was a deliberate part of his strategy to speak for those people. Why? Because it attracted other people to join the Labour Party. And according to available information at that point in time, the entrance fee was like something like a £3 per person, and there were many who joined the Labour Party only to listen to Corbyn because he was riveting. He spoke something which was unheard of, and he stood for people who were, like I said, very shadowy. Now, many of his critics have called him someone who stands for extremists, for terrorists. Now, that is a stand which can be debated, but let's go on facts. First of all, he has always supported Kashmiri separatists and perpetuated the Pakistani rhetoric on Kashmir. Now, that is a fact. And during his time, his party MPs tried to interfere in the Kashmir issue several times, repeating Pakistan's talking points. There was an attempt to internationalize the Kashmir issue, which India has been dead against, and at any level. The Labour Party had passed a resolution asking for international intervention in Kashmir and a call for a UN-led referendum during Corbyn's tenure. He himself directly tried to interfere in Kashmir through the Congress party. So there was earlier a meeting again between Corbyn and the Congress. Interestingly, neither were in power. And at that point in time, when the Congress came under severe criticism, so Corbyn did not say much to defend himself, but the Congress surely did. And they said that they tried to diffuse the situation after meeting Corbyn only to condemn the resolution passed by them on the Indian territory of J&K. If you ask me, that was a pretty feeble explanation of a goof up. That when you know very well that here is a group which is trying to internationalize the Kashmir issue, why are you even trying to speak with him? Why are you trying to defend him and then creating a controversy? But there are certain reasons why RG met Corbyn. I'll come to that later. By the way, Corbyn has also supported the IRA, Lebanon, Gaza, and he has a pretty soft spot for groups like the Hamas and Hezbollah, which, as you know, are very radical Islamic terrorist groups, and he's called them as friends. Of course, later he sort of regretted the fact that he had called them friends, but his sympathy for the Hamas still remains. And there has been a statement by Hamas, which I would like to read out, which says that we have received with great respect and appreciation the solidarity message sent by the British Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn to the participants in the mass rally. So that was a Hamas statement. Earlier, he publicly supported the IRA despite their terrorist attacks against Britain. He supported IRA violence and explicitly backed the Brighton hotel bombings, which killed 5 people and maimed 31 others. Very interestingly, in 2015, on BBC Radio Ulster, on a call-in show, Corbyn was asked 5 times whether he regretted supporting the IRA. He did not answer the call, apparently, as per public knowledge, and he cut the line. So that is an instance, again, where he has been severely criticized. Against the Jews, again, during Corbyn's time, there were widespread claims of anti-Semitism within the party. Corbyn was eventually suspended from the party after the damning report, when he refused to accept the scale of anti-Semitism, and he said that it was overstated and misreported. For the Iranian state broadcast TV called Press TV, Corbyn made 5 appearances between 2009 and 12. No harm in that, but This is the same channel that participated in the filming of the tortured, forced confession of Iranian journalist Maziar Bahari. And for that, Mr. Corbyn was paid up to £20,000 per appearance. That's a lot of money there. He's also lent his support to someone called Raid Salah, a rabid Islamist with a morbid hatred for Jews, and he has again stood with Salah. The only interesting point that I found, which Corbyn made, was on NATO. Now, in the year 2012, he said that the NATO should be disbanded. UK should not be a part of the of NATO. Why? Because it has become just a vehicle for supplying oil. It is an oil supplying mechanism, were Corbyn's words, and to a great extent that is correct. He also said that it is an instrument of Cold War manipulation. Now, in 2012, Corbyn made that statement, and we all know how Russia attacked Ukraine because Ukraine was trying to become a part of the NATO. So this is something which has gone on for quite some time. He did make an interesting comment there. Now, last but not the least, why did Mr. Rahul Gandhi meet Corbyn? According to his friend Sam Pitroda, who was the IT czar during Rajiv Gandhi's tenure way back in time, Sam Pitroda said, well, Corbyn is a personal friend of mine. I called him over for tea. But when you stand there and pose for pictures and you send it out on social media, so there is nothing called, well, there's something casual about it. You are, number one, sending out a message that you met Corbyn as an opposition leader, as a prominent opposition leader. Second is, we all know what Corbyn stands for, where India is concerned. Third is, I feel Rahul Gandhi did this deliberately to send out a message to the BJP that he can wind them up in different ways. And last but not the least, he got a lot of media attention. There were TV debates, there were primetime debates all around why has Rahul Gandhi met Corbyn and what was the need for it. Of course, the Congress defended RG and put out an earlier picture of the Prime Minister having met Corbyn, but the BJP said that he met Corbyn at that point in time when those comments have not been made. That's another story. And so it's also a bit unfair to compare one issue with another. But the main point is RG knew what he was doing. Sam Pitroda must have deliberately worked on introducing Corbyn, released those pictures on social media. Boom, you have a controversy. You have debates around you. You are back in the national reckoning, and everyone is talking about RG, which should make him a happy man. I don't know about what Corbyn still stands for, but even in his 70s, he is a controversial figure, and we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching AG Says.